Kunal, I have 15 rupees Indian currency with me. You may be having 45. Is that enough to buy a Formula One team?
That could well be enough to buy a Formula One team, Rishi.
I just knew it. I knew it.
I'm the ever optimist, you know that.
I am the ever opportunistic, as people know. So the optimist and the opportunistic get together to bring to you the Inside Line F1 podcast. My name is Rishi Kapoor. Kunal Shah is folding his hands. His phone is ringing. There's some girl, doesn't tell me about. So, Kunal, something that we do know about is Formula One is in offering licenses to new teams.
Yes. The news that just came out a couple of days back, that for 2015-16 season and onwards, the FIA is actually keen to have another team join the grid.
Very important. And, the whole scenario behind why buying a team is so expensive is very nicely explained by Kunal. And it's really, really expensive because it's exorbitant money. So there's a solution to that called customer cars. Now I'll tell you what customer cars is. Customer cars is basically... But tomorrow I have the money to run a Formula One team. I may not have the money to buy technology and wind tunnels, etc. All I do is approach another team, buy the chassis, buy the front wing, probably buy the engine from another manufacturer, put all of that together, get a few engineers there, get a few drivers, do a setup and run a race.
Precisely what you and I would do if you were to buy a team, Rishi. Because our reason to get into Formula One would be to go racing.
Yes.
And not necessarily to build cars.
Right.
And which is where I believe that even though there is a possibility of having the 12th team join the grid in 15 and 16, just imagine say you and I go buy a team. We straight away need a couple of $100 million just to buy a factory base, buy all the equipment, hire all the engineers and start all the way from scratch. Would we not rather go to a Red Bull and say, you know what, give me a set of your front wings and I'll take your chassis. Go to a Renault or a Mercedes or whoever and say, you know what, give me your engine and your ERS systems, and Pirelli's anyways giving us those tires. And just go racing, because at the end of the day, you and I want to go racing. We'll focus on the marketing, the commercials, the driver management and, the fans, etc. I don't really want to go building a car.
The biggest names in Formula One today, like Bernie Ecclestone, Williams, they all got together the same way and they actually went racing that. That's the deal. They would have had chassis from 3-year-old cars.
Yes.
Just a new engine.
Precisely. I mean, why would I get into a sport to build something I cannot ever compete with a Ferrari or a McLaren or a Mercedes, where their DNA is actually build cars?
Correct. The DNA is getting transferred and multiplied. How? I tell you how. Vettel, the quadruple champion, is now passed on few of those genes, and I'm sure the fast ones, very quickly to a child that's on its way. He and his girlfriend, the girlfriend that we just don't know about,
right,
are going to have a child. I mean, look at that. That child is going to have a child.
So the baby Shumi is actually going to have a baby Rishi.
Baby Rishi, you say. Do it again.
The baby Shumi is good.
I told you it was the girl, guys. I told you. Okay, so here's the deal. He's all of some 26 years of age and he's going to have a baby. And just imagine if the baby comes out crying with one finger up. Imagine what the baby does. The baby comes out, takes all the toys that Weber's baby has. You don't get any. But reason to celebrate for Vettel is he got another trophy. Please explain.
So the FIA has also announced that in 2014 they will have a trophy for the driver with maximum pole positions. Okay, which is actually a namesake trophy because it doesn't really make a difference.
Correct.
Okay, what I really wish though, Rishi, is I wish that they would probably award a point for pole position or a point for the fastest lap of the race or both. And this would just help spice up the championship even more.
Exactly. So many drivers just don't go out in Q3 because they're saving a set of tire. They're not going for pole position. They probably don't go for the qualifying setup. This might just, churn the grid a bit.
Yeah, and the irony is all the drivers who've come through the junior Formula are used to this point scoring system anyways.
But the point scoring system that's actually going berserk is the double point system in Abu Dhabi, which does not make sense to me. I mean, what is Formula One up to? They are just getting desperate.
I have no idea, Rishi. I wrote a blog post which has actually been very well accepted, so thank you guys. But I am actually fed up. Like, I just have no idea what's happening. And I don't even want to really talk about it. So let's move on.
I know, double the points, which means, Michael would have lost many and won many at different times. But, what otherwise could FI have done? Because, they just want to get it out there and make it exciting right till the last race, and Vettel is not winning all the races and stuff.
Well, the first difference that they could have done is not made the changes in the first place.
Correct.
Okay, but now that they have, it's so ironic, Rishi, that the driver who would actually win in a Spa or a Monza will score half the points to a driver who will win in Abu Dhabi. But on that level, and this is one of our listeners, Rajan Davare, he actually came up with this idea that if the FIA really wanted to spice it up, what if they could have probably awarded points basis the gap of victory between the first and the second driver?
Vettel would have won the championship in the first race.
Well, yes, it would complicate things, but FI is all about solving a problem which doesn't exist right now.
True that, true. The problem exists in the racer's mind, and that's what Grosjean has been going through. He's been saying that he's taking some help in terms of psychology, in terms of what they call shrinks in America, and he's actually been talking to somebody, probably frustrated. He wants to win. Somebody wants to murder Vettel or something. It's really important to have that kind of counseling in Formula One.
It is, actually, I have a very dear friend who's a sports psychologist, and if he hears that you called him a shrink, he'll probably kill you. Okay.
All right then.
What you brought up, Rishi, is extremely crucial. And what Grosjean said also makes a lot of sense, that it's actually a strength and not a weakness. Because when you go to all the races, the drivers are always with their physios.
Correct.
They're always drinking and munching something which is very secretive, which is supposed to give them a lot of physical energy and strength. Okay. But what a lot of professional sportsmen do anyways in other sports disciplines is have a mental trainer along with them. And it's very, very crucial, Rishi, because Formula One has got extreme pressures. You have sponsor pressures, you have team pressures. And let's remember, at the end of the day, you have 19 days to really prove yourself.
Correct.
Okay. And every single person with you on that day in a faster or a slower car wants to prove the same point that you want to go out and prove.
Probably with a better car.
Yeah.
Vettel doesn't have a point to prove. He has a point to lose now. In fact, double in Abu Dhabi. This is going to be really difficult, but I'm going to just remind you of all the driver rotation that took place in the last week. Sara Force India F1 now having a completely new lineup with Nico Hülkenberg and Checo that comes in the team. Also, who goes away not with a lot of money to a team not with a lot of money is Suttel to Sauber. Very well done, because I was kind of expecting this lineup. This brings a new driver lineup, a new challenge, some freshness at Sara Force India F1, and the experience that Sauber needs, it gets through Suttel. So, good changes. 4 seats up for the grab now, both the Caterhams. 1 besides Jules Bianchi in Marussia, and 1 Sauber seat. So, which one are you taking?
I would not take the Caterhams. I would probably drive the Sauber. Adrian's a good friend now. Okay. And I would probably do the Sauber, Rishi. It's a good way to launch a career. Maybe next year I'll have a McLaren contract.
Button is a good friend now that you bring it up, because, he's been saying the same thing that we did in the last podcast. And he's been saying, oh God, those cars are going to look really hilarious on the first test day. We're going to all laugh and stuff like that. So he's picked up from us,
So, that means we should actually go and report live, Rishi.
Yeah. If somebody's out there listening to it, we're ready to do it, and all you need to do is fly us there, get us a couple of burgers. We're good, man. We're good. We're good people talking about a good sport called Formula One. The Inside Line F1 punches every detail in your face, and we keep doing that. Why? Because we love it so much. My name's Rishi Kapoor. Kunal Shah is on the other side of the table, and there's a lot of Formula One on the way. You can like our Facebook page, by the way. We're on Facebook. That's facebook.com/InsideLineF1 podcast. The address is done. You know what to do.